I represent the organization I'm working in, Clinical Studies Sweden, Forum South. We belong to a national initiative called Clinical Studies Sweden, which is a collaboration between the Swedish Research Council and Sweden's 6 healthcare regions. And the aim is here to support and facilitate for clinical studies in Sweden and also to ensure Sweden are competitive on the international arena. And Forum South supports the Southern Healthcare Region and all counties that are included in the South Care Health Region. The organization, the central support organization, is organized like this. Head is Director Ulf Malmqvist. We consist of 3 main units: Clinical Trial Unit, where I'm head, Clinical Study Support, Annette Felt, head, and Medical Statistics and Epidemiology, Jonas Björk, head. We also have a regional node office, which is a point when the industry wants to have, doesn't know where to go to reaching out to the healthcare. They can go through this regional node office. So one point of entry for the industry. I can see the slides moving here. That's a bit strange. Sorry for that. Here is a picture. There's a lot, when performing clinical studies, which I'm sure you're aware of, it's a lot of laws and regulations to adhere to. There is Swedish laws, there is EU directives, and there is international guidelines like good clinical practice, which I'm sure you have heard about. And it's not easy to really know when do I need to follow which laws when. But then you can go to the organization called Clinical Study Support. And this is for the academia, for researchers. And there is around 8 people, clinical study managers, data managers. They have experience from both industry and academia and also own research background. So what do? They do a lot of counseling, minor consultation, and that is for free. And that type of question that they have, that they are receiving, is when researchers are asking what regulations and guidelines are applicable for my research, what applications are needed for approval for my research, and what documentation is needed, and what information do I need to include in the protocol and patient information. There is some mandatory information that needs to be included. And also, do I really need to apply to the Medical Product Agency when it's an approved drug? And also to that is yes. But that type of question, that is free consultation at the Clinical Study Support. But they also perform project support, and when it's more bigger project. And if you divide performing a clinical study into 3 different phases: planning, conduct, and finalization, clinical study support can help with the essential documents that need to be prepared, with the application to the authorities and ethics, with biobank and pool, a personal act, and also to establish a database and CRF, and also registration in public database. And that is important in order for, especially in order to make a publication later on when you want to report the results. Coming into the conduct phase, they can support you with initiating the sites, sort of making the clinics where the study will be performed ready, data collection, randomization, and monitoring. And in finalization, they help you with site closure and also archiving. They do a lot of training and courses which are on regular. It's GCP courses for physicians and research nurses. They also do GCP courses on demand. Sometimes a clinic will say, we have a study we will start here, and now we have a lot of staff that need to be trained. They also do have university education in quality work, 7.5 points, and also quality control monitoring courses. Then the other unit, Medical Statistics and Epidemiology, it is for academia, and it's also around 6 statisticians and epidemiologists with broad experience and also own research background. And I'm sure you're aware of that, but statistics comes into in many phases when performing a clinical study. It's both in the design stage, in the protocol, setting up a statistical analysis plan. It can be of relevance when you conduct a study, interim analysis, for example, and then of course when you're reporting it with descriptive statistics or different models. They perform minor consultation for free. Advice on single location, design or power calculation, simple statistics and analysis, etc. But when it comes to more bigger projects, so to say, when it comes to performing a randomization plan or list and make a SAP statistical analysis plan, or more extensive or advanced statistical analysis, a detailed review into your manuscript and selection procedures. They also have training and courses, both on undergraduate and graduate programs. They do a lot of customized courses or seminars on methodology issues, and short courses in statistical software. And all our courses that we have are available on our website, and I will show you later the address to that. The clinical trial unit, where I'm head, we are around 10 employees. It's physicians, nurses, biomedical scientists, well-trained in GCP and high experience in early phase trials. And there's also a broad mix of experience, and physicians have specialist competence in clinical pharmacology, endocrinology, and anesthesia intensive care. What type of trial experience we have at the CTU? Yes, we are a more generic trial unit. As you know, there's a lot of research unit at the hospital, mostly at the certain clinics like oncology or hematology. But we are more generic. We work in all therapeutic areas, but we have and then we focus mostly on early phase trial, like single ascending dose and multiple ascending dose studies. But we do also some phase 2 and 3, and also when it comes to medical device. We are also an approved phase 1 unit from the Swedish Medical Product Agency. I'm told there are 6 in Sweden, and we are one of them, and we get inspected regularly every 3rd year, and we were last inspected 2016. And just to give you a view, as we are like located in the main building, Skåne University Hospital. We look like a hospital ward. We have some special equipment just because it's early phase studies. And we also need to be at the main building because we need to have close access to the 24-hour emergency crash team and in close proximity to the intensive care unit. And we have around 12 beds available for overnight stay, and then, as I said, a lot of other special equipment. We have a lot of freezers and fridges and centrifuges because there's a lot of blood sampling and to be performed when performing these early phase studies. We do collaborations. We, compared to the other units, we also do both for the industry, and it's mainly for the industry we are doing these studies, but also for academia. And we also do for biotech company. And that's the big pharma, it's most on international arena, and biotech is more national, the one located here in the region. We have a database with healthy volunteers, around 1,500, majority is students. But when we're performing studies with patients, we do it in collaboration with the clinics. We can also provide some administrative support at the clinical trial unit, and that's when if you're planning to perform a study at our site, we always are happy to be involved in the early study design discussions. We have seen a lot of different designs, so we can sort of put in our sort of experience into it. We review protocol and CRF and applications. We can prepare the informed consent and also review clinical reports. But it's important to know when the study is initiated by the industry, data management, the statistics, and monitoring, etc., that need to be performed by a CRO. That can't be performed by the clinical study support, only the monitoring. Because clinical study support is for the academia. We did have also on the main, yeah?
Is that for regulatory reasons, or is just a decision you have made?
No, it's a good question. Clinical study support and medical statistics and epidemiology, they have sort of a founding from the region Skåne. Yeah, and in that regard, they can't sort of go in and offer the service and compete with commercial CRO. So the aim is to support the researcher working within the healthcare system. The region node office, yes, as I mentioned prior, point of contact for feasibility. If you want to know, if you don't have and don't know which clinic to go to and want to have sort of view, can this study be performed? Is there any patients? Can the patients be recruited? You can go into this region node office. The region node office also do support for budget and agreement, and that's mainly when the clinics are going to perform a study and they need to calculate their cost, and that's not easy for them to know how much will it cost for them to perform the study, and the region node office will support them. And also point of contact for the regional infrastructure in the South Care region. So we have a region website that you can learn more about our services. There is also this national website for Clinical Study Sweden, and I recommend you go in to look there. There is also a lot of tools action, more information about all phases in a clinical trial that can be very useful. And I also would like to invite you to a national conference on clinical studies that we are hosting, and that will be held in Malmö in September. And you are very welcome, and look out for the program. It will be after Christmas that will be settled. And here is our contact details. But you can just mail to any one of us and we will direct internally if you're not sure who shall I ask my question to. Just use any one of the email addresses and we will make sure that you get the right support. Yes, I think that was all.